This is my informative speech. My topic is multiculturalism in China. So in today's world, many countries are becoming multicultural because of like migration. The U.S. is a multicultural country. People from all over the world come to this country and they live harmoniously with each other. People from different backgrounds make America special. And America is famous for its multicultural society. So what about the multiculturalism in China? So I think multiculturalism present in three aspects. The history of communication with foreign country, foreigners in China and foreign elements in China. These three aspects lead China to become a more multicultural country. However, China has not become a completely multicultural country yet, but it will be soon. So China has a long history. From the very early period, Chinese people had communicated with other countries. In 13th century, the famous businessman Marco Polo from Italy came to China, which has called the Yuan Dynasty at that time. He traveled around China and he wrote a book called The Travels of Marco Polo. So in this book, he said China was a place where treasures were everywhere. Since that period, China was attracted by Western country, and more people want to go to China. Though China was a feudal country for 2,000 years, and it did not mean that foreigners could not come to China in a feudalism. So in 1918, the Chinese government made reforms, including policy to open China's store to attract international business to develop Chinese economies. A lot of foreign companies and foreigners were attracted to come to China because they were the largest market in this country, which had a population of 1.3 billion. A lot of Chinese people went to foreign companies to work. Chinese began to do a business with foreigners. Students began to study English since at school. Foreigners also began to live in China at that time. So lots of foreigners could understand Chinese language and talk with Chinese citizens. My hometown, so it's a small city, it's not very famous, and even many Chinese people do not know where it is. But I have been able to see foreigners in my hometown since I was a child, because they came to travel. Since that time, foreigners were all around China. Those they are not Chinese citizens, but they are becoming part of China. So throughout history, China has communicated with other countries for a long time. Today, China's influence is widespread in many other countries. A lot of foreigners would like to study Chinese as their hobbies. They are also interested in Chinese culture. More and more foreign people and international students came to China to study, work, and live. Some of them have been in China for many years, and they can speak Mandarin more clearly and frequently than some Chinese citizens. For example, Mark Russell is a Canadian, and he came to China in 1984 for study. After graduation, he became a computer in CCTV because he could speak Mandarin clearly and frequently. So, in addition, he's a handsome and humorous, and he loves to learn Chinese traditional culture, such as Peking opera, crosstalk, and so on. He has a Chinese name called Dashan, and which means a green mountain. So Chinese people can remember that name easily. Chinese people are very fond of Dashan, and he's still working in China as a computer now. I love China. Dashan once said, "I'm a foreigner, but I'm not an outsider." China's influence has become greater and greater upon foreigners, and they are becoming a part of in this country. So nowadays, China's influence on other countries has increased. At the same time, other countries' element also affect China a lot. Foreigners came to China to work or study with their cultures and customs. Christmas Day, Valentine's Day, and other festivals from Western countries are very popular with Chinese young people. They also celebrate this festival and have fun during this day. For example, Chinese young people send gifts to friends, each other in Christmas Day. Boys would like to buy a bunch of roses for girls who they love to show their emotions. And more high school or university establish special courses for international students. So international students in China can adopt themselves as soon as possible. On the other hand, Chinese students have been studying English since primary school, because English has become a required course in Chinese school. And a lot of Chinese students are interested in English, but they cannot get many chance to practice their oral English. If international students are around them, they will be happy to talk with them. And when I was in high school, my classmate and I saw a foreigner playing basketball in my school. we were very surprised with that, and we just saying that we just want to play with him and had a talk with him. So he told us he was from the Netherlands and he was an English teacher in a university. After that, I think Chinese students can communicate with international students without too much difficulty. It is obvious that foreign elements are in fact China. So in conclusion, I don't think China has become a completely multicultural country now, because unlike America, which has a lot of immigration or other ethnic groups now. However, the different culture from other countries have affected China much. Chinese people are also friendly with foreigners in China, and they are not surprised to see foreigners on the street anymore. So I think China will develop become a completely multicultural country in the future.